Hi, welcome to How to Not Be Dumb, where I react to dumb stuff in-game. Today, I'm ambulating over the crawling, cold expanses of Galicia, lumbering my way beneath the doomed vessel, perched like a vulture upon its icy palate, in a big tank which goes brrrr. Despite the buffs, this tank still represents to me what a misplaced shit represents to a janitor. Somehow still my problem. Hey Steve, have a rear-mounted turret so you can sideswipe. Hey, jolly ho, off we go! Also, have 170mm of armor that gets exposed when you do. Can I pack again? Oh, and your gun outlet's 200mm and you have a cupola. Now go fight heavies at 50 meters. No. And as I tentatively approach the flank before me, I'm suddenly set upon by a wafting tide of insecurity as I realise there's a Wargaming employee on the enemy team, and he's showing us all up by positioning a G-Saw here.
Look at it! Look at that specimen of a player sitting in E8 in a medium tank.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's pretty solid Wargaming playing out there. Fun fact, positioning a G-Saw there is like putting me in the middle of Colt. He's confused and probably about to be shot. And he's also surrounded by people who are more physically capable. Black people. I'm a racist. I hurl a buffed shell towards a admirably sideswiping E75 and then begin to confront the notion of a corner fight with an IS-7 and a Conqueror that has been bitten by a radioactive sheep. Why radioactive sheep? Well, because, whoa, that's a lot of spaced armor. No? Okay. Because, like a sheep, it dies if you shoot in the face. Feck. Now, aiming on the corner grants me an oh-so-delightful opportunity to deliver a plate of cheese-laden spaghetti to the opposition.
Even though it
oh my god, I spaghettied. And this is followed by me gyrating like a horse G-string on Funny Feck Friday in an attempt to protect myself. Of course, like Texas, please, it didn't fucking help. Oh, would you just look at how much work I'm having to do to conceal the weak spot that only appears when I play the tank like I'm goddamn supposed to. Nevertheless, due to a generous alpha and the ever-lacking British side armor, I did trade favourably, only to be assaulted by the very next engagement, reminding me of my insignificance in a side-sniping fight in a rear-mounted tank against a Conqueror on flat land. Getting down to the bookies, because the odds on this engagement are like having sex with a clown. Fucking bonkers. Digesting that information, I decide that given this engagement is unfavourable to me, I now have to analyse the value of stagnancy in this position. Meaning, if I simply hold presence here, not dealing or receiving damage, am I contributing to the game? Moreover, am I inhibiting a valuable component of the enemy by the threat of my position? In this case, the answer is a firm yes. My allied heavies are currently making a simple corner fight look like a dodo running a decathlon, and I can guarantee you they do not need another angle threatening them, and by my presence here, I inhibit that possibility, essentially making the Superconk's position obsolete, because if he engages our heavies, I will spank his beautiful British booty. So by all means, Mr. S-Conk, attempt conquest of that angle. I don't think you represent a threat, so I'm not going to give you the engagement that you want. What other saucy decisions can we add to our stewardship of the seafront? Well, I realised shortly that we have a moderate multi-level engagement represented by our high ground UDES that threatens the Superconk. Actually, the UDES kind of pins that down a little bit, so I'm gonna... By simply reversing, I can maintain the vast power that I just described and take a more favourable engagement on the vehicles working the inside. And a time later, the temptation for the Conqueror becomes too great, and he prostrates himself on the corner much as I hoped he would, opening up a long-distance fire for the UDES and the relocation of myself. And we make sure to aim for the engine shot, unfortunately not provoking a fire, but we're not pressed to follow up, and the UD sends nudes to the Conk, and he gets immolated for possession of child pornography as the UD is only 16. Anyway. Plus 10 points for outplaying the S-Conk by being boring. Also, that Conk has now learned that bullets are like the internet. Bad if you expose your sight to them. Now that he's been escorted to a place where guns are legal and children are tortured and killed, hell, I can work this corner at my leisure, relieving pressure on my allies on the inside track and changing the tide of the fight. Just then, the E100 declares his presence in the mid, attempting earnestly to boot Tommy. And immediately, I push on the IS-7, knowing that we have a 4-to-1 overmatch. I do start taking fire from the elevated RU, but I activated my ancient casket of fucks and didn't give any. The IS-7 goes down and I push forward. I'm still ignoring the RU. Why? On the face of it, the RU's position can powerfully influence these areas of the map, none of which are relevant to what we need to achieve by winning this side, which is to press round behind the enemy's mid-force and leaving pressure from Tommy and the Superconk surrounding the enemy team and winning the game. The RU's position is entirely irrelevant to that maneuver. With the exception of the few shots he'll get as we push past, he cannot influence it. So I am going to ignore him. My team, on the other hand... At this point, the IS-2 pops up, giving us again another 4-to-1 overmatch. I know I have to press this because I can't sit in crossfire with the RU up behind me. The AMX is pushing admirably with me, and it looks very much like the Allied heavies are doing the same, recognizing the priority of surrounding the enemy forces. But no, instead of pushing, instead of ambulating forward, instead of moving together, ignoring the RU and prioritizing the IS-2 or the FB4005 that's just appeared, they are sitting there, spread wider than a DiCaprio's canvas, lustfully gazing up at the goddamn RU. And they are so distracted by this entirely irrelevant tank that this happens.
I'm gonna get yelled by this. Oh well.
What the? How have you let him? What the fuck is the M103 doing? What?
A wild
fuck
FD.
are you doing? What? How he waltzed round that? There was a Concept 1B and an M103 just. How does he get? How can he waltz? He went round there. I was there. I died there because the FE with an M103 and a Concept 1B here was allowed to do this. I spotted, by the way, the entire time. It's not like I didn't give examples in this very game of how to prevent occupation of a position without taking damage from it. But no, these warbling dimwits aren't done just yet, because instead of learning that lesson about being distracted by irrelevant tanks that are only relevant if you play into their position of influence, these fibrous fucks move straight back to the compromised low ground to play the end game. Get right back under the RU. They don't push it. They don't push their 3 heavy tanks round onto the one-shot Concept and the low HP G-Sword. No. They sit here, and instead of perhaps having, one tank sit wide and pay mine to the RU while threatening a crossfire, no. Everyone's gonna volunteer for that job.
Let me point out, the enemy team should have won this from the beginning. They were throwing at one point.
Also, our AMX got him so stuck. He almost got stuck on an IS-7.
Yeah, I went
love
back
the fact that all three of them, motherfuckers! What? I'm starting to understand why the FB was allowed to YOLO all the way around.
Their awareness is not the highest.
Why are you still sat here?
They want to kill the RU.
They're so bad. Help! What the fuck? Oh my god.
By the way, an FV killed the Concept as well. Not the same one that killed you, but an FV.
And what should they have done? Well, they could have greatly benefited their gameplay by watching one of my videos on Crossfire to understand its implementation, how to form it, how to use it, and how generally to get better at the game. So I will link that in the description and in a card right here. Go and have a look. It's 5 minutes, it's comprehensive, and it'll get better at the game very, very quickly. So, thank you very much everyone, and I will see you later.
Peabody, cheers from Germany, man. Thought I tried a couple silly verses, my friend. He is a nice guy like Ned Flanders, but wielding a band hammer that make viewers feel him like a gang member, yeah. You better never ever shoot versus the man, cause that's a jerk of his hand, hence you're a permanent ban, yep. Like in a roleplay game, you wield a dagger but